Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a simple truth. Success is not something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming the person worthy of it. And that begins with daily improvement. Not once a year, not once a month, but every single day, inch by inch, thought by thought, habit by habit. Today, I want to walk you through 8 things you must improve day by day if you truly want to change the direction of your life. Discipline is the silent architect of every success story. It's not loud, it doesn't boast, and it doesn't show up in fireworks, but it builds empires behind the scenes. When we speak of improving ourselves day by day, discipline must be the first stone laid in the foundation. Without discipline, talent is wasted, potential remains untouched, and dreams drift into the background, eventually forgotten. Many people wait for motivation to strike before they take action. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. Discipline, however, is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. It's the commitment you make to yourself in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, when the room is silent, and when the results haven't arrived yet. Discipline says, I will do what I said I'd do, even if I don't feel like it. That mindset separates the average from the excellent. Each morning, life gives you 2 options. Stay in bed with dreams or wake up and chase them. Discipline is what gets you out of bed. It doesn't argue with the alarm clock. It doesn't negotiate with excuses. It simply obeys your highest intention. And the beautiful truth is, discipline is a skill, not a trait you're born with. You can develop it, you can train it like a muscle. Every time you choose to follow through instead of quitting, that muscle gets strong. Every time you resist the urge to procrastinate, discipline sharpens. It becomes easier, not because the task is easier, but because you've grown tougher. Look at the lives of high achievers in any field, business, sports, art, science, and you'll find one thing in common. They practice daily discipline. They show up regardless of how they feel. They've learned that feelings are poor leaders. Feelings change, but principles should remain. You may not always feel like working out, studying, building, or creating. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. It cares that you said you would, and now it's time to act. Small daily decisions build momentum. Saying no to a sugary snack, saying yes to 10 minutes of reading, committing to a single productive habit repeated each day. These are seeds planted by discipline. And the amazing thing about seeds is they don't show results right away. But over time, they break through the soil and grow into something greater than what was planted. That's the power of daily discipline. It multiplies. Another truth about discipline is that it demands sacrifice. You cannot have the reward and the comfort at the same time. You must choose. There will be times when discipline calls you to say no to temporary pleasures so you can say yes to long-term gains. That's not easy, but easy never built anything worth having. You might miss out on fun today, but what you're building with your consistency will be worth far more than anything you're giving up. There will also be resistance. Internal resistance in the form of doubt, fear, and fatigue. External resistance in the form of distractions, criticism, and pressure. But the disciplined person keeps going, not because it's easy, but because they've decided that growth is more valuable than comfort. They understand that regret weighs far more than discipline ever will. When you choose discipline, you begin to trust yourself more. You build a relationship with yourself that says, I follow through. I can count on me. That inner trust becomes your confidence. You stop second guessing your ability. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You simply act. Because disciplined people don't wait, they work. They create. They shape the moment instead of waiting for it to shape them. Discipline is also contagious. As you grow stronger in your habits, others notice. Your presence begins to speak louder than your words. People see your consistency, and that consistency earns respect. Leaders are born through disciplined action, not by demand, but by example. Now let's be real. Some days you will fail. You'll skip the workout, you'll break the promise, you'll lose focus. That's human. But discipline isn't about never failing, it's about returning. It's about getting back on track faster. It's about not letting one off day become a new pattern. You fall, you rise. That's the rhythm of growth. So if you're serious about changing your life, don't just dream big, start small. Pick one habit, be consistent, be faithful in the little things. Wake up when you said you would, finish what you start, respect your schedule, speak to yourself with strength, and most importantly, remind yourself that who you're becoming is more important than how you feel right now. Discipline may seem like a limitation, but in truth, it's your greatest freedom. Because when you master yourself, you are no longer a prisoner to circumstance or emotion. You become unstoppable. You become the kind of person who doesn't just wish for success, but works for it one disciplined day at a time. Time is the great equalizer. Every person on this planet, rich or poor, young or old, receives the same 24 hours in a day. What separates the productive from the passive, the achievers from the dreamers, is not more hours, but better use of those hours. Time management is not about having more time, it's about taking control of your priorities, your energy, and your direction. And if you truly want to transform your life, you must learn to improve your time management day by day. The most common excuse people give for not reaching their goals is, I don't have enough time. But the truth is, you don't lack time, you lack focus. Time is never the issue, attention is. Every minute you spend scrolling aimlessly through your phone, every hour you spend reacting to someone else's agenda instead of executing your own, is time you can never get back. Time wasted is life wasted. That's a harsh truth, but it's also an empowering one. Because once you accept that you are in control of how you use your time, you can start making intentional decisions that move your life forward. Improving your time management starts with awareness. You must know where your time is currently going. Most people underestimate how much time they waste. A 5-minute break turns into 30. A quick check of social media turns into a spiral of distractions. Days blur into weeks, and suddenly the year is gone, and so are the goals you set in January. That's why the first step is to track your time just for a few days. Write down how you spend every hour. Be honest with yourself. See where the leaks are. Awareness always comes before improvement. Once you know where your time is going, the next step is to reclaim it. You must begin to say no to the things that drain your time and yes to the things that grow your future. This is where priorities come in. Not everything matters equally. If everything is important, then nothing is. You have to decide what truly matters to your mission, your purpose, your vision, and then protect those things like your future depends on them, because it does. Many people try to manage their time by creating long to-do lists, but quantity does not equal productivity. A long list of meaningless tasks will never bring progress. You must learn the difference between being busy and being effective. Being busy is movement without direction. Being effective is movement with purpose. Each day, ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things I can do today that will make the greatest difference? Then do those first. Don't let distractions steal the best part of your day. Time management also requires you to understand your energy. Not all hours are created equal. Some hours you're sharp, focused, ready to think deeply. Other hours you're tired, distracted, and mentally scattered. Schedule your most important tasks during your peak energy hours. Protect that time like it's sacred. Use low energy times for simple or routine tasks. This one shift can dramatically increase your daily output. Another powerful principle of time management is the use of time blocks. Instead of jumping from task to task and living in a state of constant interruption, set aside focused time blocks for deep work. During these blocks, eliminate distractions. No phones, no social media, no multitasking. The human brain is not designed for multitasking. Every time you switch tasks, you lose focus, and that mental switching costs more time than you think. Concentration creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Learning to manage your time also means learning to manage other people's access to it. If you are constantly responding to every message, every email, every request, you are living in reaction, not creation. People will always want your time. But if you don't set boundaries, you will spend your life building other people's dreams while neglecting your own. Set limits. Create space in your day for solitude, for strategic thinking, for rest. You are not a machine. You are a creative being, and creativity requires margin, not just activity. You also have to learn to say no, not because you're rude or selfish, but because you are focused. Every yes is a no to something else. Every invitation you accept, every task you take on, every conversation you entertain has a cost. If you say yes to everything, you'll have no time left for the things that matter most. Time is your most valuable non-renewable resource. Spend it wisely. Improving your time management is not a one-time event. It's a habit, a discipline, a mindset you practice every day. You won't get it perfect. There will be days when distractions win. There will be times when you misjudge your schedule or waste precious moments. But the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. The more you pay attention, the more intentional you become. And intentional people create powerful lives. So stop saying, I don't have time. Start saying, it's not a priority. And then ask yourself, does that sit well with me? If it doesn't, it's time to realign. Take back control. Respect your time. And remember, how you spend your hours is how you spend your life. Make each one count. Mindset is the lens through which you see the world. It's not just a way of thinking. It's the foundation of how you approach challenges, opportunities, relationships, and goals. Everything in your life, your habits, your emotions, your actions, flows from your mindset. That's why improving your mindset day by day is not just important, it is essential. If you want to change your life, you must first change how you think. Most people never realize that they are living in a prison built by their own thoughts. They wake up every day with the same fears, the same doubts, the same limiting beliefs, and then they wonder why their life never moves forward. The truth is, your thoughts are seeds, and your life is the garden. What you plant, you will eventually see. If you plant negative thoughts, you will live a negative life. If you plant empowering thoughts, you will experience growth, purpose, and fulfillment. Improving your mindset begins with awareness. You must pay attention to the thoughts you think. Most people go through their days on mental autopilot, reacting instead of reflecting. But when you slow down and observe your own inner dialogue, you begin to see patterns. You start to recognize how often your thoughts lean toward fear, judgment, doubt, or comparison. And once you see those patterns, you have the power to change them. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. That means you have the power to choose different ones. A strong mindset doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you don't let fear control your decisions. It doesn't mean you always feel positive or motivated. It means you have the maturity to act with discipline even when your emotions are trying to drag you down. Mindset is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about believing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to grow through it and rise above it. One of the greatest mindset shifts you can make is learning to see failure not as something to fear, but as something to learn from. Most people see failure as the opposite of success, but that's a mistake. Failure is part of success. Every lesson, every setback, every time you fall short, these are opportunities to refine your strategy and build resilience. With the right mindset, you don't lose, you learn. You don't get stuck, you adapt. This shift alone can unlock massive growth in your life. Another key to improving your mindset is protecting your mental environment. Just like your body is influenced by what you eat, your mind is shaped by what you consume. Negative news, toxic conversations, self-doubt, and comparison through social media. These are all pollutants that weaken your mindset. You must become intentional about feeding your mind with uplifting, educational, and empowering material. Read books that challenge you. Listen to mentors who inspire you. Surround yourself with people who make you think bigger, not smaller. Your mindset will rise to the level of your environment. You must also learn to speak life over yourself. The words you say, especially the ones you say to yourself, are powerful. If you constantly say, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, this is too hard, then your mind will believe it and your actions will follow that belief. But if you train yourself to say, I am capable, I can figure this out, every day I'm improving, you will start to rewire your thinking and your confidence will grow. Your self-talk becomes your self-picture. And your self-picture determines your behavior. Improving your mindset requires patience. It's not something you change overnight. It's a daily discipline, just like going to the gym. Building mental strength takes consistent effort. You won't always see instant results, but every time you choose to believe in yourself, every time you choose a growth thought instead of a limiting one, you are reshaping your mind for the better. Over time, those small changes compound into a powerful transformation. One of the greatest benefits of a strong mindset is emotional stability. Life will challenge you. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will shift. But with the right mindset, you remain grounded. You stop reacting emotionally to every inconvenience, and you start responding with clarity and control. You gain perspective. You recognize what's worth your energy and what's not. That kind of strength gives you freedom A healthy mindset also helps you stay committed to your goals. When your thinking is clear and focused, your actions become consistent. You no longer rely on temporary motivation. You rely on mental discipline. You develop a clear sense of purpose. You become someone who doesn't give up just because it's hard. You learn to push through discomfort, and you begin to trust yourself more with every step forward. Mindset is everything. It is the root of your success, your peace, your relationships, and your fulfillment. Improve it daily. Protect it fiercely. Feed it intentionally. And remember, the most powerful change you will ever make in your life begins in your mind. You are not limited by your past, your background, or your current situation. You are only limited by the thoughts you choose to believe. Change those thoughts and you change everything. Health is the foundation upon which every other aspect of your life is built. Without good health, your dreams, your goals, your relationships, even your career lose their power and clarity. You can't pour from an empty cup. If your body is constantly tired, your mind foggy, and your spirit drained, it doesn't matter how big your ambitions are. You simply won't have the capacity to pursue them. That's why improving your health day by day is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not just about looking good, it's about functioning at your highest potential, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Most people wait until their health is at risk before they begin to value it. They ignore the warning signs. They run on caffeine and convenience foods, stay up late, neglect exercise, and overwork themselves until their body says enough. But your body speaks before it breaks. Fatigue, low energy, brain fog, frequent sickness, these are not random events. They are messages, and if you don't listen to them, they will get louder. True wisdom is not in fixing health problems after they happen, but in preventing them by building daily habits that support long-term wellness. Improving your health begins with respecting your body. You only get one, and how you treat it determines how well it supports you through life. Respecting your body means nourishing it with foods that energize you, not just entertain your taste buds. It means drinking water, not just sugary drinks. It means choosing meals that fuel performance, clarity, and vitality. When you eat clean, your mind becomes clearer. Your energy becomes more stable. Your immune system strengthens. What you eat is not just about calories, it's information. Every bite communicates something to your body. You are either feeding disease or fighting it with every meal. Sleep is another non-negotiable when it comes to health. We live in a culture that glamorizes hustle and overlooks rest. But without sleep, your body cannot repair, your brain cannot process, and your emotional balance begins to break down. Lack of sleep has been linked to anxiety, depression, weakened immune response, and even poor decision making. If you're trying to build a great life on the back of poor sleep habits, you're building on sand. Prioritize rest like you prioritize work. Sleep is not a weakness, it's a weapon when used correctly. Movement is also essential. Your body was designed to move. It thrives on activity. Regular physical exercise not only improves your cardiovascular health and muscle strength, but it also enhances your mood, sharpens your thinking, and reduces stress. You don't need to spend hours in the gym. A simple walk, a home workout, stretching, or dancing, anything that gets your body moving consistently will improve how you feel and function. The goal is not perfection, it's consistency. The more you move, the more alive you feel. Another part of health that's often overlooked is mental and emotional health well-being. Your health is not only physical. Your thoughts, your stress levels, your emotional patterns, all of these deeply impact your physical body. Chronic stress, resentment, anxiety, and negative thinking release chemicals in your body that suppress your immune system and disturb your hormonal balance. That's why practices like meditation, deep breathing, gratitude journaling, or simply spending quiet time in nature are not just spiritual rituals, they are health strategies. A calm mind is a healing mind. Protect your peace as you protect your health. Hydration is a simple yet powerful health practice. Most people walk around in a state of mild dehydration without even realizing it. They feel tired, experience headaches, and struggle with focus, and it's often just because they haven't had enough water. Your brain is 75% water. Your cells rely on hydration to function. Start your day with a glass of water. Keep a bottle nearby. It's a small habit that pays big dividends. Also, monitor what you consume mentally. What you watch, listen to, and read directly affects your stress levels, your mood, and even your sleep quality. Constant exposure to negativity, violent media, or toxic conversations creates an internal environment that drains your energy and stirs inner conflict. Choose uplifting, educational, and calming content. Feed your mind what you want to grow in your life. Just like junk food clogs your body, mental junk clogs your thinking. Lastly, make time for joy, laughter, hobbies, meaningful conversations, and things that make your soul come alive. They are not distractions, they are medicine. Health isn't just about avoiding sickness, it's about building a life you enjoy living. When you feel good physically, when your energy is strong, when your mind is at peace and your emotions are stable, you become unstoppable. Everything gets easier, from decision making to relationships to chasing your goals. Improving your health is a commitment. It's not about quick fixes, it's about daily choices. Some days you'll get it right, some days you'll slip, but every day is another chance to care for your body, to reset your habits, and to strengthen your well-being. Health is not something you postpone, it's something you build brick by brick, one small improvement at a time. And as your health rises, every other area of your life rises with it. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without it, even the most powerful dreams remain just dreams. It is discipline that wakes you up when the alarm rings, keeps you focused when distractions call, and pushes you forward when comfort tries to pull you back. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you train like a muscle. And every day that you practice it, even in the smallest ways, you become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of living the life you were meant to live. Improving your discipline starts with understanding one simple truth. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, often depending on your mood, the weather, or how well things are going in your life. If you wait to feel motivated before you take action, you'll waste years sitting on the sidelines. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation disappears. It's the inner voice that says, do it anyway. It's the commitment to follow through, especially when you don't feel like it. And the more you do this, the more you build trust with yourself, the kind of trust that becomes unshakable. Discipline shows up in how you manage your time. Time is life. Every moment you waste is a piece of your life you'll never get back. When you live without discipline, your time gets stolen by distractions. Endless scrolling, binge watching, procrastination, or saying yes to things that don't align with your goals. But when you're disciplined, you take control. You start to treat your time as sacred. You schedule your priorities instead of prioritizing your schedule. You learn to say no not out of arrogance, but out of focus. You realize that every yes is a no to something else, so you choose wisely. Discipline also means keeping your word, especially to yourself. Too often, people make promises to themselves and break them. I'll wake up early. I'll stop eating junk. I'll read every night. But then they don't follow through. And each time that happens, their self-respect erodes just a little more. Discipline rebuilds that respect. It's about becoming someone who does what they say they will do, even when no one's watching. That kind of integrity is rare, it's powerful, and it becomes the foundation for everything else. Your confidence, your leadership, your ability to succeed under pressure. Another key to discipline is mastering your emotions. Life will test you, people will frustrate you, circumstances will disappoint you, but discipline teaches you to respond rather than react. It gives you the strength to pause, to think, to choose wisely instead of acting on impulse. Without discipline, you live as a slave to your emotions. You lash out, you give up too quickly, or you run to comfort whenever life gets uncomfortable. But with discipline, you rise above. You keep your vision in front of you and your emotions in check. That doesn't mean you suppress your feelings. It means you don't let them dictate your decisions. Small disciplines matter. It's not just about the big things. Making your bed, finishing the workout, turning off the phone when it's time to sleep, reading for 10 minutes instead of wasting an hour. All these small acts of self-betrayal compound over time. They build momentum. They shape your identity. When you do the hard things daily, you become someone who does hard things naturally. And once that identity is in place, discipline becomes less of a struggle and more of a way of life. Discipline also strengthens your ability to delay gratification. We live in a world of quick fixes and instant rewards, but real success, real transformation takes time. Discipline gives you the patience to endure the process. It helps you resist the need for immediate pleasure in favor of long-term gain. Whether it's saving money instead of spending it, working out instead of watching TV, or studying instead of partying, discipline helps you keep your eyes on the prize. It teaches you that temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for lasting fulfillment. As you grow in discipline, you begin to see it as freedom, not restriction. Most people think discipline means limiting yourself, but the opposite is true. A disciplined life is a free life, free from regret, free from chaos, free from the pain of poor choices. When you control your habits, your schedule, your focus, and your actions, you create space for peace and purpose. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. Day by day, discipline transforms you. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Some days you'll get it right, other days you'll fall short, but the key is to keep going. To wake up the next day and try again. To keep showing up for your future self. Over time, those daily choices become your character, and your character shapes your destiny. Remember this, discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. It's what sets you apart. It's what sharpens your potential and unlocks your greatness. You may not control every outcome in life, but you do control your effort, your habits, and your discipline. And that's more than enough to build an extraordinary life. Confidence is not something you're born with, it's something you build. It's not reserved for the lucky or the extroverted. Confidence is a skill, a habit, a way of thinking and behaving that can be developed day by day through consistent action and intentional self-respect. True confidence isn't arrogance, It's not about thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about knowing you are capable, worthy, and prepared to handle whatever comes your way. It's a quiet strength that doesn't need to shout, but stands firm in every room, every conversation, and every challenge. Building confidence begins with keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you tell yourself you'll do something, whether it's waking up early, finishing a task, or staying away from toxic people, and then you actually follow through, you're depositing into your internal self-trust account. The more you follow through, the more you believe in yourself. But when you repeatedly break your own promises, your self-esteem starts to erode. Confidence doesn't just come from external validation. It comes from knowing deep down that you can rely on yourself, that you are someone who shows up, takes responsibility, and doesn't run when things get tough. Another major source of confidence is preparation. When you prepare, you reduce uncertainty. Whether it's preparing for a job interview, a presentation, a big decision, or even just the next day, preparation builds a sense of control. When you're ready, you walk into situations with clarity and composure. But it means your preparation becomes your anchor. Confidence often fails not because of lack of potential, but because of lack of preparation. If you want to feel more confident, do the work behind the scenes. Study, practice, plan. Strength is quiet, and so is confidence. And it's built when no one is watching. Comparison is one of the biggest enemies of confidence. When you constantly compare your life, your progress, or your appearance to others, you start to doubt your own worth. Social media makes this even worse, creating a false reality that makes everyone else look flawless. But remember, you're not in competition with anyone except the person you were yesterday. Confidence grows when you shift your focus inward, when you stop trying to impress others and start trying to improve yourself. Stay in your lane. Your journey is unique. Your timeline is your own. Progress isn't always visible, but it is always meaningful. Confidence also comes from how you speak to yourself. Your inner voice is either your greatest coach or your worst critic. If you constantly talk down to yourself, telling yourself you're not good enough, smart enough, attractive enough, those words become your reality. But if you begin to speak life, strength, and possibility into your mind, you'll start to feel different. The words you speak to yourself are seeds. Plant doubt and you'll reap fear. Plant encouragement and you'll grow confidence. Start each day by reminding yourself of your worth, your growth, and your potential. Your body language too plays a powerful role. The way you carry yourself tells your brain how to feel. When you sit up straight, make eye contact, walk with purpose, and breathe deeply, you send a message to your mind: I am strong, I am capable, I belong here. Small physical changes can spark powerful internal shifts. Practice standing tall even when you feel unsure. Smile even when you're nervous. Speak clearly even if your voice shakes. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's action in spite of it. Another important aspect of confidence is learning to handle failure with grace. Confident people aren't confident because they've never failed. They're confident because they failed and kept going. They've learned that failure doesn't define them, it teaches them. Every setback is a stepping stone, every mistake is a message, and every disappointment is an opportunity to grow stronger. When you stop fearing failure, you stop limiting yourself. Confidence grows when you embrace challenges, step out of your comfort zone, and keep trying even when things don't go perfectly. Surrounding yourself with supportive people also contributes to confidence. The people you spend time with influence how you see yourself. If you're constantly around those who belittle you, doubt you, or bring negativity into your life, your self-picture takes a hit. But if you surround yourself with people who believe in you, challenge you to grow, and celebrate your progress, your confidence multiplies. Protect your energy. Choose people who remind you of your value, not those who make you question it. Lastly, confidence is built when you align your actions with your values. When you live in integrity, when what you believe, say, and do are all in harmony, you feel powerful because you're not pretending. You're not chasing approval. You're living in truth. And there's no greater confidence than being fully yourself, unapologetically, in a world that constantly tries to make you doubt who you are. Building confidence is a lifelong process. It won't happen overnight. But it will happen if you commit to the process. Show up, do the hard things, speak kindly to yourself, celebrate small wins, learn from losses, and keep moving forward. Day by day, you'll notice a shift. Not just in how others see you, but in how you see yourself. And that, more than anything else, will change the direction of your life. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. It is the silent force that separates dreams from reality, potential from performance, and wishes from results. Without discipline, talent remains untapped. Plans stay on paper, and ambition becomes frustration. Discipline is not a trait you're born with. It's a habit you build. It's the ability to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up early to work on your goals when you'd rather sleep in. It's saying no to distractions, temptations, and easy roads so you can say yes to growth, purpose, and excellence. Every great achievement in life, whether personal, professional, physical, or spiritual, is rooted in discipline. Success is never accidental. It's the result of consistent, intentional effort, even when motivation is low. Motivation might get you started, but only discipline keeps you going. That's the secret most people don't want to face. Because discipline isn't glamorous. It's repetitive. It's difficult. It often feels boring and thankless. But it's where transformation happens. It's in the quiet moments, the daily habits, and the unseen sacrifices where true growth begins. If you want to be disciplined, start by creating structure. You can't rely on willpower alone. Willpower fades. Discipline thrives in routine. Design your days with purpose. Set specific times for your priorities, for your work, your health, your learning, and your rest. Don't just hope you'll get things done. Plan for it. Schedule it. Make it non-negotiable. Discipline grows stronger when you remove decision fatigue. The more automatic your healthy habits become, the less resistance you face. Discipline isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with focused intention. One of the hardest parts of discipline is saying no. No to what's easy, no to what's popular, and no to what's comfortable. But every no to distraction is a yes to purpose. Every no to instant gratification is a yes to long-term gain. Discipline teaches you to delay pleasure so you can achieve greatness. It tells you that what you want now may not be worth what you want most. Whether it's junk food, mindless scrolling, gossip, or laziness, discipline reminds you that short-term indulgence often leads to long-term regret. Discipline is also about consistency over intensity. It's better to be consistent at 70% effort every day than to go all out one day and quit for the next 5. Consistency compounds. Small, disciplined actions done daily will always outperform bursts of motivation. Whether it's reading 10 pages, exercising for 30 minutes, saving a small amount of money, or practicing your craft, doing it daily builds momentum. That momentum creates identity, and that identity builds confidence. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who doesn't quit, someone who is dependable not just to others but to themselves. Another key part of discipline is mastering your emotions. You will not always feel like doing what you need to do. There will be days of doubt, fear, boredom, and fatigue. But discipline steps in when feelings try to take over. It tells your emotions you don't run the show. It allows logic and commitment to lead rather than moods or circumstances. The disciplined person shows up no matter what. They understand that how they feel is not as important as what they committed to. Over time, discipline rewires your brain to push through discomfort and operate with self-control. Discipline also requires that you confront your excuses. We all have them. I'm too tired. I don't have time. It's too hard. I'll start tomorrow. But those excuses steal your potential. Discipline doesn't deny that things are difficult. It simply says, do it anyway. The disciplined person doesn't wait for perfect conditions. They start with what they have and do the best they can. Progress is always possible when discipline leads the way. Every time you override an excuse, you strengthen your self-respect. Surrounding yourself with disciplined people can elevate your own standards. Environment matters. When you spend time with people who live with focus, integrity, and high standards, it challenges you to rise. Discipline is contagious. So is laziness. Choose your circle wisely. Let the people around you reflect the type of person you want to become. Find accountability. Find mentorship. Find inspiration. But remember, no one can be disciplined for you. It is a personal choice, a daily decision. Discipline doesn't eliminate freedom, it creates it. When you are disciplined with your time, you have more of it. When you are disciplined with your finances, you gain peace of mind. When you are disciplined with your health, you increase your energy and quality of life. When you are disciplined with your thoughts and words, you build stronger relationships and a clearer mind. Discipline doesn't imprison you. It empowers you. Discipline is a form of love. Love for your future, love for your purpose, love for the person you're becoming. It's choosing long-term growth over short-term ease. It's sacrificing comfort today for excellence tomorrow. And it's available to anyone who's willing to commit, stay consistent, and keep moving, no matter how hard it gets. Because those who are disciplined today will live with freedom, achievement, and peace tomorrow. And that's a life worth fighting for. Mindset is one of the most powerful forces in shaping the direction of our lives. It's the lens through which we perceive the world, ourselves, and our possibilities. Our mindset dictates how we respond to challenges, handle setbacks, and even how we view success. It influences the choices we make and the actions we take. Whether we believe we can or can't, we're usually right. That's the power of mindset. It's not just about positive thinking. It's about truly shifting how we think, how we view our potential, and how we act in alignment with that potential. A growth mindset one that sees challenges as opportunities and failure as a stepping stone to success, can completely transform the way we experience life. A person with a fixed mindset, on the other hand, tends to believe that their abilities and intelligence are set in stone. They may shy away from challenges, fearing failure or rejection, because they see it as a reflection of their inherent lack of ability. People with a fixed mindset often avoid effort because they believe that if they have to work hard at something, it means they're not good enough. This type of mindset can limit personal growth and development because it holds people back from pursuing new opportunities, taking risks, and learning from their mistakes. On the other hand, individuals with a growth mindset believe that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. They see challenges as an integral part of the growth process. Rather than fearing failure, they embrace it as a necessary step on the path to success. For them, each setback is a valuable lesson, not a signal of inadequacy. They understand that success isn't an endpoint but a journey, one that requires continuous effort and the willingness to adapt. This mindset is crucial for long-term personal and professional growth. To cultivate a growth mindset, it's important to start by reframing failure. Failure isn't something to avoid, it's something to learn from. When you fail, instead of seeing it as a reflection of your worth, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to improve? By viewing failure as feedback rather than defeat, you begin to shift your mindset to one that is focused on growth. You stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities for learning and improvement. Another critical component of a growth mindset is the belief in effort. People with a fixed mindset often believe that talent is everything and that without innate ability, they can't succeed. But those with a growth mindset know that hard work, practice, and persistence are what truly drive success. No matter how talented someone may be, without consistent effort and a willingness to learn, they will eventually hit a ceiling. The growth mindset, on the other hand, understands that effort is a multiplier. The more effort you put into something, the more you'll improve, and the closer you'll get to your goals. The language we use with ourselves plays a significant role in shaping our mindset. When you tell yourself, I can't do this, you reinforce a fixed mindset. But when you say, I can't do this yet, you open the door to possibility. Adding the word yet shifts your perspective from a limitation to an opportunity for growth. This simple word change communicates to your brain that the current state is not permanent. It's temporary, and with effort, things can and will change. By adopting language that promotes growth and possibility, you train your brain to think in ways that support your development. Another important element of a growth mindset is resilience. Life will always present challenges, and we can't control everything that happens to us. However, we can control how we respond to those challenges. Someone with a growth mindset doesn't give up easily. They understand that setbacks are part of life, and they are resilient in the face of adversity. Instead of feeling defeated, they regroup, adjust, and keep going. They know that every failure is just another chance to try again, and they have the confidence to keep pushing forward. Surrounding yourself with others who have a growth mindset is equally important. The people you spend time with have a profound impact on how you think and feel about your abilities. If you're constantly around people who are negative, defeatist, or who discourage your growth, it becomes harder to maintain a growth mindset. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who are positive, who encourage growth, and who see setbacks as learning experiences, you're more likely to adopt those same perspectives. The environment we place ourselves in can either nurture or hinder our mindset. Therefore, choose to be around people who push you to grow, challenge you to be better, and support your personal and professional development. It's also essential to remember that cultivating a growth mindset takes time and effort. It's not something that changes overnight. You'll have setbacks and there will be moments of doubt. But every time you catch yourself thinking with a fixed mindset, every time you choose to embrace a challenge rather than avoid it, you're making progress. The key is persistence. Keep learning, keep growing, keep challenging yourself. Over time, you'll notice a shift in how you approach life. You'll become more resilient, more adaptable, and more confident in your ability to succeed. Mindset is not just a passive trait. It's an active choice. You have the power to change how you think about yourself, your abilities, and the world around you. By embracing a growth mindset, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. You free yourself from the limitations of fear and self-doubt, and instead, you step into the power of growth, learning, and resilience. Your mindset shapes your future. So choose wisely, embrace the belief that you can always improve, and you'll find yourself achieving more than you ever thought possible. Consistency is one of the most important virtues in the pursuit of success. It's the foundation upon which habits are built, progress is made, and goals are achieved. Without consistency, even the greatest potential can go untapped. It's not the sporadic bursts of effort that lead to lasting success, but the steady, consistent actions taken day after day. Consistency is what transforms average efforts into extraordinary results. It's the act of showing up consistently even when the results aren't immediately visible. It's the quiet, persistent work that builds momentum over time. The key to consistency is understanding that it's not about doing something perfectly every time, but about doing something regularly. Perfection is an unattainable standard that often discourages people from even trying. The pursuit of perfection can paralyze us with fear of failure or the inability to meet high standards. However, consistency is about progress, not perfection. It's about taking the steps, no matter how small, towards a bigger goal. Over time, these small steps compound into something much greater. Consistency requires discipline and focus. It's easy to get distracted or overwhelmed by the immediate rewards that come from taking shortcuts or seeking instant gratification. However, the long-term rewards of consistency far outweigh the fleeting satisfaction of easy wins. To be consistent, you have to develop the habit of doing the right things even when they don't feel exciting or rewarding in the moment. It's about sticking to your commitments, following through on your promises, and being disciplined enough to keep going when you'd rather quit. One of the biggest barriers to consistency is impatience. We often want results immediately, and when we don't see them, we lose motivation and stop trying. Success is rarely instantaneous. It's a result of continuous effort and sustained work over time. The most successful people are those who keep showing up, even when things are tough, even when they face setbacks, and even when they can't see the progress they're making. It's the ability to stay focused on the process rather than being fixated on the outcome that makes consistency so powerful. Developing consistency also requires setting realistic expectations. You can't expect to change your life overnight or achieve your biggest goals in a short period of time. It's important to be patient with yourself and recognize that success is a journey. Every day you show up and do the work, you're moving one step closer to your goal. It may not feel like a giant leap, but over time, these consistent actions add up to massive progress. The key is to trust the process, even when it feels slow. Consistency also requires the ability to keep going, even when motivation wanes. Motivation is powerful, but it's also fleeting. It comes and goes in waves. On some days, you'll feel energized and excited to tackle your goals, while on other days, you might feel tired, distracted, or uninspired. If you rely solely on motivation to get things done, you'll find that you're inconsistent and easily discouraged. However, the consistency doesn't depend on motivation. It depends on commitment. When you commit to something, you make the decision to show up, regardless of how you feel. It's about building the habit of doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Another important aspect of consistency is tracking your progress. It's easy to feel discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but when you track your progress, you can see how far you've come. Small wins, no matter how insignificant they seem in the moment, are proof that you are moving forward. Celebrating these wins helps to build momentum and reinforces your commitment to staying consistent. When you can look back and see how much you've accomplished, it fuels your drive to keep going. Consistency also strengthens your sense of self-discipline and accountability. When you consistently show up and do the work, you build confidence in your ability to achieve your goals. You prove to yourself that you can be reliable and follow through on your commitments. This is an empowering feeling. It also helps you to develop a strong sense of personal accountability. When you make consistency a habit, you're not just accountable to others, you're accountable to yourself. You learn to trust yourself to do what you say you will do, which in turn boosts your self-esteem and reinforces your belief in your own capabilities. In addition to building personal strength, consistency builds trust with others. When you consistently follow through on your promises, people begin to trust you. They know they can count on you to get things done, to meet deadlines, and to show up when you say you will. Trust is the foundation of all successful relationships, whether personal or professional, and consistency is key to building that trust. It shows others that you are dependable and that you take your commitment seriously. Being consistent doesn't mean being rigid or inflexible. It's important to be adaptable and open to change when necessary. Life is full of unexpected challenges, and sometimes the plan you've set may need to be adjusted. Consistency doesn't mean that you don't adapt or change course. It means that you continue to show up and put in the work regardless of the circumstances. Flexibility within consistency allows you to maintain your commitment even when things aren't going according to plan. One of the most powerful things about consistency is that it becomes self-reinforcing. As you make consistency a habit, it becomes easier to stay consistent. You build momentum, and the more you do something, the less effort it takes to continue doing it. Eventually, consistency becomes second nature. And you stop asking yourself whether or not you're going to do the work, you just do it. This is when consistency starts to work in your favor and propels you forward towards your goals with increasing speed and ease. Consistency is the cornerstone of success. It's the daily effort, the small actions taken consistently that lead to lasting change and achievement. It requires discipline, patience, and a willingness to show up, even when the going gets tough. Consistency doesn't guarantee immediate success, but it guarantees progress. And over time, that progress leads to extraordinary results. It's the key to creating lasting habits, building trust, and achieving your biggest goals. When you commit to consistency, you commit to creating a future that is built on small, steady actions that compound into something great. Success is a journey, not a destination. It's a continual process of growth, learning, and evolution. The truth is, it doesn't matter how much talent you have, how many opportunities come your way, or how brilliant your ideas are, if you don't have consistency. Consistency is what ensures that progress is made, that goals are met, and that dreams are realized. Without consistency, even the best laid plans can fall apart. It's like planting a seed and expecting it to grow into a mighty tree without watering it, nurturing it, or giving it the care it needs. Success requires consistent effort, sustained focus, and the discipline to keep moving forward, even when the results aren't immediate. In many ways, success is built one day at a time. Each day presents an opportunity to move closer to your goals. Whether you're pursuing personal growth, professional achievements, or simply striving to live a more fulfilling life, it's the small, everyday actions that add up over time to create significant change. The consistent choices you make on a daily basis, the habits you form, the decisions you stick to, and the effort you invest all contribute to your long-term success. Success doesn't come from sporadic bursts of effort or occasional moments of brilliance. It's the result of consistently showing up, doing the work, and staying committed to the process. To understand the importance of consistency, it's crucial to recognize that success doesn't happen overnight. It's easy to become discouraged when we don't see immediate results. But the truth is, great achievements take time. Whether it's learning a new skill, building a business, or working towards a personal goal, the process requires patience and persistence. Many people give up before they reach their full potential because they stop being consistent when things get tough or when they don't see the immediate benefits of their efforts. But those who stay consistent, who continue to put in the work day after day, eventually see the fruits of their labor. Consistency also builds momentum. When you stick to something over time, even when progress seems slow, you begin to build a kind of energy that propels you forward. This momentum is a powerful force because it makes it easier to keep going. As you continue to put in the effort and see even small results, you begin to build confidence in your ability to succeed. With each step forward, the next one becomes a little easier. It's like rolling a boulder uphill. At first, it's difficult. But once you've made enough progress, the boulder starts to roll on its own. One of the most challenging aspects of consistency is the mental and emotional fortitude required to keep going, especially when faced with setbacks or failures. Every person who has ever achieved great things has faced obstacles, doubts, and moments of frustration. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often their ability to stay consistent in the face of adversity. Success doesn't come from avoiding challenges. It comes from the courage and determination to push through them, learn from them, and continue working towards your goals. When you remain consistent, you develop resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adjust your strategy, and keep moving forward. It's not about never failing, but about how you respond to failure. Building consistency also requires developing habits that align with your goals. Habits are powerful because they don't require a great deal of willpower or motivation to maintain. Once you've established a routine, the actions you need to take to progress toward your goal become automatic. For example, if your goal is to get in better shape, consistency might mean exercising for 30 minutes every day. In the beginning, it might be difficult to stay consistent, but over time, this habit becomes ingrained and the action becomes easier. The key is to start small and stay consistent, gradually increasing the intensity or complexity of your efforts over time. As you build positive habits, they compound over time, bringing you closer and closer to your desired outcome. Another important factor in maintaining consistency is setting clear, achievable goals. Without a clear vision of what you want to achieve, it's easy to lose focus and get sidetracked. Goals give you direction and purpose, but they also provide you with a roadmap for consistent action. Break down larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks that you can work on each day. This makes it easier to stay consistent because you have a clear sense of what needs to be done and can track your progress along the way. By setting achievable goals, you can celebrate small wins, which reinforces your commitment to continue working hard. It's important to track your progress and hold yourself accountable. Consistency is more than just showing up every day. It's about making sure that you're actually making progress towards your goals. Keeping track of your actions, whether through a journal, planner, or an app, helps you stay focused and motivated. When you can see the tangible results of your efforts, no matter how small, it reinforces the importance of consistency. It also helps you stay on track, adjusting your approach if necessary, and ensuring that you're continuously moving forward. The power of consistency is that it doesn't require extraordinary talent or an amazing stroke of luck. It's available to anyone who is willing to put in the effort, day in and day out. It's not about making giant leaps toward success, but about the small, consistent steps that add up over time. Even when the work feels mundane, even when the results seem far off, consistency ensures that you're always moving forward. The key is to keep showing up, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel motivated, and even when you don't see immediate results. Over time, your consistent efforts will lead to exponential growth, and success will follow. Consistency is the quiet but powerful force that drives success. It's the discipline to show up every day, no matter what, and to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. Success is built through the small, consistent actions that we take day after day. While talent and luck may play a role, it's consistency that ultimately leads to achievement. Stay committed, stay focused, and remember that progress takes time. Success isn't an event, it's a journey that unfolds, one consistent action at a time.